Greetings, fellow humans. Welcome to Sam and Max Hit the Books. I'm Max.
And I'm Sam.
And we've got a extremely fat stack of comics to review for you this week.
That is true.
We're going to start with the 10th issue out of 12 of Doomsday Clock. Often delayed, always interesting Doomsday Clock. This is all the full explanation of what happened to Dr. Manhattan after he left the Watchmen universe.
Nice.
Went over to DC Universe and in the 30s and encountered Superman. There's this whole subplot with this actor that Dr. Manhattan influenced his life and helped him get rich, but then the dude was murdered by his mother. It's this whole thing that is just not interesting to me. I'm sure it's going over my head, and it's one of those things in Watchmen it had the pirate story that was running throughout the book.
What was it, pirate story in Watchmen?
Yeah, have you not read Watchmen?
I have not read Watchmen.
Well,
I've only seen the movie.
There is, and if you haven't seen the Ultimate Edition, which does put in the pirate thing, which is an animated bit in the Watchmen movie.
Oh, I have not watched
But yeah, basically there's this pirate story that's supposed to be a metaphor for the whole main story.
Okay.
And I imagine that's what Johns is going for here as well. But that's not interesting. What's interesting is that Dr. Manhattan showed up in the 30s and Superman showed up. And Dr. Manhattan hung out for a little while there, and then all of a sudden Superman wasn't there anymore, and Superman shows up later in another era. And the Justice Society is formed differently. Now Superman's from the 50s, and his parents have a different... and so basically Dr. Manhattan is viewing from outside every time that DC Comics continuity was rebooted. Because the first in the 30s, that's the original Superman when he showed up. And then in the 50s, that was Silver Age Superman. And it goes all the way up to showing how Dr. Manhattan himself, noticed that every time Superman changed, the entire world changed.
Oh, nice.
And every time this entire world changed, all the other worlds in the multiverse changed. And that, in fact, makes this particular Earth special. See how meta it's all getting?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so there is a multiverse, but everything that happens in the multiverse is a reflection of things that happen in this universe, which he dubs the metaverse, officially.
Yeah.
And so he views these changes to Superman so often that he decides to do it himself. He changes Superman by having his parents die much earlier than he normally does, which isolated him from humanity.
Ooh. Well, that's something.
And but yeah, all of his meddling has now led to this timeline he's in, where Superman is killing him, or he's killing everything at the end of the timeline. And but essentially, what this issue is it's a love letter, as I've seen said online. It's a love letter to the DC universe. It's all about all the crises and all the histories and how everything has changed and yet it stayed the same in certain ways. And it's pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's a cool thing.
I wish this was issue 5 out of a 6-issue series.
That's funny.
I know this is becoming my common complaint. It's everything's 2 to 6 issues too long.
Right.
But
yeah, that's true.
It's taken so long to get here, and the story is so different now from what it was when it started, that it's a little bit disconcerting. But it's great. The art is fantastic. It's worth the price of admission. I give this a 7.
Nice.
All right.
Next up, we got the newest Immortal Hulk, number 18, Al Ewing, Joe Bennett. And this kind of seems like, if you haven't been paying attention up till now, we're going to catch everybody up as Bruce goes through the motions of figuring it out himself.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be the 3rd or 4th trade paperback. And so you definitely want to be reminding people where we've been, what the status quo is, even though they've fully upended the status quo.
Right. It's changing so fast.
I feel like the way that Bennett is drawing Bruce in this, the shape of his head doesn't even seem like it's the same Bruce Banner that he was a couple issues ago to me. I haven't gone back to compare. But
I don't know. The mustache is a little off.
It really throws everything off.
He has seemed pretty emaciated most of the times that we've seen him. Pretty skinny head.
I'm sure if I go back, it's just going to be the fact that, his hair's all nice. He's got the mustache. He's wearing a suit.
Right. He looks good now.
Yeah, exactly. Joe's been running his life.
Yeah.
Because Joe now appears when he's in human form.
Right.
I liked the call out in his little hierarchy of Hulks that we're dealing with right now that Green Scar is listed. I love Green Scar. That's Hulk from Planet Hulk and World War Hulk.
Nice.
Probably the strongest Hulk, I think, because he can break a world.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
But man, this issue is really all about the Abomination and what the Abomination is now.
Yeah, well, he really lives up to his name in this one as Abomination. He's got a whole Cthulhu-esque face now.
Right, his face is a fist with an eye poking out between the fingers. And it's like really two fists. And it can open up. And like before Abomination was basically just like Frog Guy, like Hulk, but also the creature from the Black Lagoon. And now it's just Jesus, like Rick Jones. And it's weird and funny because, if you recall, at the very last page of the last issue, when they teased Abomination, the line of dialogue on the page from the evil scientist guy was, "There's nothing human in there." And we see that that's not exactly true because there's at least 2 Rick Jones faces in there.
Yeah, that's true.
Oof.
Yeah, so we'll find out about that.
Oof. Horrible, but man, it's Abomination, man, disgusting.
Yeah. Overall, even though it feels like a catch-up issue, it's still pretty dang good.
Oh, it's so good.
So I give it a 7, solid.
All right, yeah, this is an 8 for me. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the art. I'm like, as I was flipping the pages, I was waiting for it. I'm like, Bennett, when are you going to give us Abomination-wise, man? Like, you got something weird going on with that fist.
It's pretty cool.
All right, moving on to Detective Comics Annual number 2 by Peter Tomasi and drawn by, what's his name? Travis Moore and Max Rayner. This is a self-contained story that is both a loose sequel to Batman Year 2, which I've described to you previously as the story where Bruce Wayne uses the gun that murdered his parents while he's fighting a good bad guy.
Right.
Yeah. And also a lot of fun references to the Grant Morrison run, because he mentions Batman Incorporated, and now he doesn't have them anymore, and he goes and straight grabs his black casebook off the shelf.
Yes, he does.
And it's all about, tracking down and fighting this new Reaper.
Right, new Reaper.
And the twist of who the Reaper is was kind of the lamest possible twist. It could possibly be secret sibling.
Right.
Secret child of former villain.
Oh,
that you couldn't have known about. Did he never mention me?
Yeah, that's true.
And the art, while good, wasn't really up to the Brad Walker standard we've been getting in the main Detective Comics. It's really kind of saved by the amazing coloring. I really thought it was colored fantastically throughout.
Well, it was a good palette.
It's a good mystery that's kind of a little too easy for him to solve, but he figures it out. Alfred gets to use his acting to help Batman out, and they're globe-trotting, going to other countries.
A little bit of the Playboy stuff.
Yeah, the Playboy Bruce Wayne stuff. Like, Tomasi he knows how to write both sides, man.
Yeah, that's true.
I really enjoyed it. This book was a 7 for me.
Okay, I'd give it a 6. But I did enjoy it, obviously, or I'd give it a much lower rating. So next up, we're going to review 2 comics, because we just got both issues 4 and 5 of the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, we were shorted on 4 the week it came out. I feel it's been at least a month since it came out, because issue 5 came out a week ago.
Right, exactly. Both of these are Donny Cates and G.F. Shaw. And, so first one, you get some good Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill. Oh, somebody online tweeted at Donny Cates something about calling him BoJack Norseman.
Oh my god. Well, it works. I could even see him with that voice.
And man, that moment when Bill is... was it even this issue or the next one when Bill is like... They're like, oh, you can bring Thor here, Bill? And Bill's like, ha! What could Thor do that I could not? And I'm like, yeah, Bill.
Yeah, I think this one was... This was that one. No,
it's the next one, because that's when Lockjaw shows up.
Yeah, he summons Lockjaw when they think he's going to summon Thor. But that's what I thought when it's like, you're going to make Thor come here. It's like, wait, can't he do everything Thor can do?
Right.
Like, what's the point of that?
But this issue's just the fight, really.
Right, it's the fight, and Gamora's back, and Rocket is... I guess everybody's mad at Rocket for something. What'd Rocket do?
Yeah, we don't know what Rocket did, because nobody knows. It's some mystery for us. It's not like it happened in some previous issue. This much I know. It's a mystery for us to solve. Along with how any of this stuff is going to end up tying into Venom, since Null keeps coming up.
Right. Which, every time Null comes up, it's like, it's Null. They're talking about Null. Venom.
Venom is central to the universe now.
Venom is essential. Yay. Yeah, I love that. And Lockjaw is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I haven't read a ton of comics with the Inhumans in them, but I mean, if you're gonna have one Inhuman, it's Lockjaw.
Right, clearly, because he's a giant dog.
He's a big good boy.
Yeah, he's a big good boy. Yeah, maybe even, like Thor's dog. Not Betty Ray Bill's got his dog that he summons.
Somebody should send us a list of comic dogs for our Rank the Characters episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Several of them would rate very high. I'm a huge fan of Crypto, personally, so...
And I like Thori. I think that dude is awesome.
Thori is very funny.
He's so into murder.
It's so close to being cringe, but it really works.
Right. Because he's a god dog.
Right.
So it's okay.
It's dog, so we're going to like it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the cheat code.
Yeah, and then we find out in this one, after the bad guys get Gamora, that Thanos was never coming back as Gamora.
Didn't we say that this was what was going to happen in issue 1? And we were like, yeah, but that's too obvious that it would happen this way.
Right, no, I mean, it's like the guy's there, he's in the wheelchair.
He's all scarred up.
Yeah.
At the time, it was more a question of, is he already Thanos?
Right, yeah, exactly. And I did like how Hela totally just owns Cosmic Ghost Rider, no problem. I mean, he's a dead body, and she's the god of death. Boom, no problem.
Yeah, I think we're seeing how Cosmic Ghost Rider is going to end up back on the Guardians team here.
Right, he's probably not going to want any part of that.
Yeah.
But now he's a slave. Ha ha.
Yeah.
And so overall, both of them pretty good. You want to rate them together?
Nah, I think we should give them individual rankings.
All right, I give the first one a 6 and the second one 7.
I would give them the exact same rating, honestly. The issue 4 was good, but not amazing. Pretty good fight, but it's kind of like,
Yeah,
just action happening. I like Nova showing up, but this issue 5, this is where it was at.
Right.
Things are really kicking into gear now.
Agreed.
We got some Thanos.
Right, he's back, just like that.
And he's not even going to chill in that body for like any amount of time. Hell, he's already got a new Thanos body ready to go.
Right, he's going to use up his brother's body, and that'll be that.
Poor Star Fox. Sorry you were such a creep.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, moving on to the big book of the week, for me at least, was the first extra-sized issue of Batman, The Last Night on Earth, by the Snyder Batman team of Snyder and Capullo. And this was some crazy shit.
Yeah, this went a lot of places.
So it's like at first it's like a weird Matrix-y thing that's happening.
Right.
Where it's like he's in some sort of digital reality that Alfred has created in order to convince him to not be Batman anymore so that he can live a happy life.
Right.
But he sees right through that because he's Bruce Wayne, even though he's extra young.
Right. He's a clone.
And but that is the thing. Yeah, we find out is like, hey, that world is false. Batman breaks out, but nothing was actually false about him there. And when he breaks out, he finds Joker's head. And and here's the thing: if you didn't read the Scott Snyder Batman run, you maybe were very confused when they spent all of one panel describing the Batman machine. The machine that makes Batmans.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That created this guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, they explained it pretty well. I was like, okay, Batman created this machine so that there could be more Batman.
Right, so there could always be a Batman, but Batman would always be mortal.
Right.
It's like a weird post-apocalyptic, not really a zombies thing, although there's some weird zombie-ish things up on the surface world called slingers that grabbed all the Green Lantern rings after Mogo died.
Right, now they can make giant babies.
And I found the overall plot to be extremely dark, because if this all isn't an illusion, which it seems like it might be from the very beginning, how it started out with, Batman going to Crime Alley and finding some shit.
Yeah.
But if this is actually supposed to be like an end-time story, like it's real dark, the idea that like Luthor convinced all the regular people to rise up against the heroes, and then the regular people were so bloodthirsty that they just killed all the heroes and villains.
Oh yeah, no, totally dark.
And they may or may not have been led or are being led at this point by a former trainee of Batman's. I wonder who it could be.
Right, who knows?
Yeah,
I mean,
some
could
person.
be any of them.
Yeah. Dick, Jason. It's probably Jason.
It's probably Jason. I mean, he's the go-to. He's the fallback when you need a Batman villain that was taught by Batman.
That said, though, Damian.
Right, that's the thing. I mean, in
his
this
name
world.
is Damian. But yeah, I may have glazed over the fact that Joker's head is in a jar that was like suspended over the place where Batman was underground.
Right.
Yeah, like it's very unclear even like the transition from this. Like, was Batman like in some sort of capsule thing? Where was Alfred? Like, where is Alfred? Like, what? It's also like dream logic.
That's true.
Like, it just cuts from the asylum to Batman punching his way out of the dirt, and there's Joker's head in a jar, but Joker's head is cool. And Batman's like, what happened to your body? And Joker's like, what are you talking about? And Batman's like, that's not funny. And Joker's like, yeah, but I haven't had anybody to test my shit on lately.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, maybe Batman's in hell.
Batman might be in hell. Is Joker narrating this story?
At the end, I think it's pretty clear that he is.
Yeah, it's just interesting because they didn't use his, like, font.
Right, that's true.
In every Snyder comic, Joker always has, like, his Joker font. But I really enjoyed this. I thought it was awesome. I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the series. It's a great coda to the end of Snyder's Batman run. I give this an 8.
Alright. Yeah, I'd give it an 8, too. It's pretty dang good. It's like going to some crazy places. And I like that. I'm hoping it's not all a dream. I'm hoping he's actually somewhere.
I'm very intrigued to find out what it actually is. Because I doubt that it's just a dream. Like, whatever it is, it's going to be more than that.
Right. No, I'm hoping it's not a dream or a machine or a drug-induced something.
This is actually a story.
Right, like this is actually something that's going on, and he's going to have to fix it through some kind of world merging or time travel shenanigans.
I don't remember who said it, but somebody in comics said that, like, you can write on a character, but if you want to be remembered, you have to write either an origin or a futuristic the end story, because then you own a version of that character. And I thought that was very interesting, and it definitely seems like what Snyder's going for here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice little capper.
Right. When he's got that Batman. Forever. Alright. Moving on, we're going to be talking about the 6th issue of the new Transformers run. Brian Ruckley, Beth McGuire-Smith, and yeah, so this is a kind of a backstory as Optimus, or Ryan Pax, I should say, talks to Codexa, and Codexa remembers things about the past through their conversation, doesn't really talk to him, is just like, oh, I remember Orion Pax and Megatron the whole time, and tells a little story about Orion Pax and Megatron. And
yeah, they mentioned a name for like whatever has happened to Codexa, because Optimus mentions in the flashback, like Codexa has chosen to like undergo blankety blank or whatever.
Right, so, as Orion has become like the chief script.
Right, yeah, he's becoming the head archivist of Megatron, as in the previous continuity, I guess was a minor.
Right.
Part of the working class.
Yes. Yes, he was. And he wants to get into politics, but Optimus, Orion, is not sure he can really trust Megatron. He thinks Megatron's a little crazy, and he tells the story about them going to the moon and them like flying off the moon, and Megatron gives him a hover thingy.
Megatron the daredevil.
Right. He just wanted to jump off the moon at the point when gravity was neutralized in their pod. He jumps out of there and crashes down to the planet. I feel that part was pretty fun.
I feel like the book is doing almost too good of a job of making Megatron's angle seem justified.
Great. Yeah, Megatron just seems like he's into freedom.
Exactly. Like they're really gonna have to do something in order to like really drive home the idea, unless they really are gonna go for a war is gray. And the Autobots aren't that bad, the Decepticons aren't that bad, the Autobots aren't that good thing, like, throughout, which would be crazy to me.
That would be crazy. I wouldn't mind that.
They dabble with that in the previous run, so I wouldn't be that shocked, but it's just weird.
It is just weird.
Like, yeah, I mean, obviously Starscream is going to be evil no matter what happens, but...
Right, but if it's a, like, order versus chaos thing, where chaos is not innately evil and order is not innately good, right. I mean, I'm totally into that kind of thing. But I could definitely see this Megatron getting into the brutality to get his point across.
It's very much turning them into Professor X and Magneto.
Right. Which, I mean, that kind of feels like a thing they always wanted to do.
It makes sense, and I mean, it works in comics, obviously.
Right.
it's interesting enough that I do want to see where it's going, but damn, do I want the plot to start 6 issues in.
No, right, exactly. This was still just like, here's a flashback of Megatron and Optimus in the past.
There's no way that like more of this has got to be the last one that goes into a trade paperback, if not the first one that goes into the second volume. I can't believe the plot hasn't started yet.
Right, no, it's hilarious how slice of lifey. Like, this is life on Cybertron.
They trick you, because at the end of the first issue, like the first issue was like, okay, here's life. Oh shit, somebody was murdered. That never happens. And
last issue too.
Right, and now it's 5 issues of here's some setup. Here's some gut. We're laying down some tracks. Like the fireworks factory is there. It's in the distance. I promise we will get to the fireworks factory.
We'll see. I give it a 6.
I think that 6 is right for this. It's still very good, and the art is perfect. I really enjoy the art. It's all straight lines. But I like how expressive the characters are.
Right.
It's good.
And
it's well colored.
Even Megatron, he's drawn with like a nicer face than he doesn't have his scowl. So it's like, yeah, this guy, he has glowing red eyes.
Right.
Sure, but other than that...
If he didn't have the red eyes, he would look super friendly.
Right.
I almost wish he had like yellow eyes right now or something.
And then later you can knock him out and put in some red ones.
Or maybe his eyes are like flashing to red when he's telling Optimus his like most extreme shit, and then Optimus is like, hey, not only are you sounding crazy, but your optics.
Right. It's like, me crazy? Nah.
Alright, so take us to the next one.
No, I did the last one.
Oh, this is me? Oh, that's right, it is me. Alright, so real quick, we're going to hit issue 10 of Fantastic Four, which, speaking of slice of life...
Well, yeah, I mean, Yancey Street, the comic.
It's Yancey Street, the comic. It's, Dan Slott seems to really be enjoying, like, getting in between his extremely epic, action-packed plot lines with these very, things are going to get married, and stuff is funny with the family, and now we're going to meet Yancey Street, and Franklin's kind of a little dick.
Yeah.
I do have sort of a weird problem with this, which is that Franklin and Valeria have code names now. Franklin is Powerhouse.
Yes, it does.
And Valeria is, I do not remember. I can't believe I remembered his name as Powerhouse, to be honest.
No,
it's only because they mentioned it in the issue.
Yeah, I do. Which is a great name. It's just fantastic.
It's wonderful.
Magnificent.
It's descriptive. I feel like his uniform should say P, not F, right?
Right, yeah, no, you're totally correct on that. That's interesting.
Yeah, like I can understand, like from a design standpoint, that F and V are better in the little circle.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, it should be P, and she's like Megamind or something. I know it's not that.
Right, but it definitely is one of those brainstormy style names.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that you could choose from.
And they're really drilling home Franklin's new status quo of, phenomenal cosmic powers, but until the timer runs out.
Right, which is sad in itself. But I guess they kind of use this issue to work through it a little bit. That's how it's supposed to be. So use your powers, kid, while you got them.
I want Franklin to take like a Cable approach to it. He's like, I can't use my powers. I got to become a guns guy.
That'd be nice.
I'm going to use all this tech that Valeria is going to
gadgets.
build for me because I can't use my powers. But if I need to use my powers, I got them.
Right, the Hail Mary.
Right, so this was fine. It was a little bit like it felt like the tie-in aspect was extremely perfunctory. And we're reading War of the Realms, and it mentioned, like, even in one of the little caption boxes, like, yeah, her transmitter, remember War of the Realms issue 2? And I was like, I do not remember.
No, not at all. And then for them to beat him by destroying it, and then they all just start walking away.
It's like oh yeah, and Moon Girl was in this. This is the first time I've ever read a comic with Lunella Lafayette, who is currently the star of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the smartest person in the Marvel Universe.
There's a Moon Girl?
Yeah, Moon Girl. It was that girl who was like, I took the test, I'm smarter than your dad.
Oh, with the dinosaur and the stupid costume.
Yeah, with the big... yeah, her costume ain't great, but, she's a kid's character, so...
Right. She's a kid's character. It makes sense that she would design a kid's uniform, but that is a kid with a lousy sense of taste.
Hey man, that's modern fashion. We just don't get it, man. Like that's what the kids are like, man, that's what you want to wear, man.
Well, the kids are wrong, and I can say that because I am speaking from a place of experience.
You were a kid?
And age. I was a kid, and now I'm not a kid, so I know what's good.
I give it a 5.
I'd also give it a 5.
Cool. All right. Oof.
So next we have Superman, Leviathan Rising, issue 1. Bendis, Rucka, Fraction, Andreyko, Paquette, Perkins, Liebert, Pensica, Ferreira, Fairbairn, Mounts, and Placencia.
Good job!
And
Holy shit!
I'm sorry if I butchered anybody's name.
Only Paquette, I think. No, you said that correctly. No, I think you did. I think you did it all correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people worked on this issue.
A lot of people worked on this issue, and it shows.
Whoa. Like, I'm surprised how little the plot started in this enormous-sized one-shot they made us buy.
Right. I mean, first of all, you have this person who's wearing the get-up from what's that movie? The animated movie, and it's got
Waking Life.
Keanu Reeves and Robert Downey. A Scanner Darkly, right? The Scanner Darkly costume that makes all the different faces go on, and I thought that was pretty good.
That was excellent.
They definitely captured it in this comic. Wasn't so into the conversation. It's just talking to this lady, and she's like, "Oh, you want to get Superman? Go after Clark Kent, because you can't go after Lois Lane. Superman will be on you like that. So
right.
Go after that other guy."
And if you go after Lois Lane, she'll publish a really mean expose about you in the newspaper that she has the keys for.
Right. So what do? They kidnap Kent Clark. Superman immediately notices that they're in his apartment and they want to kidnap him. So he's like, "All right, they can kidnap me. I'll see what it's all about."
Right, which I did appreciate that. I like that angle.
It was a nice little moment. And what he wasn't expecting, though, was for them to strap kryptonite to him.
Right. In case Superman came to get him.
Right, for when Superman comes to get him, which was that's pretty funny.
I agree. Yeah, that was. I'm following it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm into it. I'm into it in a way I'm not usually into the Bendis Superman.
Right, exactly. And then there's this Jimmy Olsen bit.
Okay, so we had 4 writers and like 5 artists on this, right? We've got Yannick Paquette and Bendis doing all the main Superman stuff. Right. Great. We've got the Lois Lane thing by Greg Rucka. It's fine. It's fine. That's exactly how Greg Rucka writes his comics. It's fine. This right. Jimmy Olsen interlude by Matt Fraction, I think, and Steve Lieber drawing, was crazy.
Right. Just absolutely off the walls. It starts with Jimmy Olsen. He's waking up after having a drunken one-night stand off of some gorilla champagne with this multi-dimensional thief. Kind of stealing back gems that she says belong to her people.
I believe that this is a person from Gem World, which is a concept that I am fully unversed in. I do not believe I've ever read a comic. I feel like Gem World is only recently brought in a different Bendis comic we're not reading.
Right. But that's not even the important part about this Jimmy Olsen story. The important part isn't even that he got married to this person, and now she wants him to get an old because she's going out and she's not coming back, and she left this cat, which is the important part.
The important part is cat, who is
in the bathroom.
This cat, Sam.
Yeah.
Which it does kind of show you at the very end when you see the cat in the background of the action scene.
Yeah, no, it mentions that this is a lantern cat.
Yeah, it's the Red Lantern cat. I can't remember what his name is, but he's a Red Lantern.
Well, I was unfamiliar with this cat.
This cat.
So it destroys his costume. He lets it out of the bathroom, and it goes out. But then it just starts projectile vomiting blood all over him and everything around him. And there's
now, let me tell you,
7, 8, 9, 15 panels of this cat spewing blood and just blood everywhere.
Now, I didn't realize who the cat was at first. As soon as the cat started vomiting blood, I was like, oh, this must be that Red Lantern cat, because all Red Lanterns vomit blood.
Oh, do they? Great.
Exactly.
That's great.
And then I was like, oh, Sam's going to read this, and he's going to be like, what the hell is this Superman comic?
Right. I was, at first, very worried for the cat.
That's way too much blood.
Right, and it even looks pretty like, oh my god, what's going on? In one of the panels, like, its eyes are totally like, oh my god, I wish I could stop vomiting blood. But then it seems to be fine, and Jimmy Olsen runs off with it. We go back to some Superman story, some Supergirl story.
Now, full disclosure, I skimmed right through the story. I maybe read 3 dialogue boxes, but as soon as I saw the little thing that was like, this story takes place after this issue of Supergirl, I was like, oh, I don't need to pay attention to this.
Right, exactly, because it's not important to anything that happens there. It's just like about her family and stuff. Who cares? But then we get back to Clark, and boom, he's saved by Lois Lane and Firestorm and Jimmy Olsen in a gorilla costume, and they have that cat, and that cat's fine, and it's a superhero. And I think that's just fine.
Now, technically, I want to say that cat is a super villain. I don't know exactly how they coerced him to be the Red Lanterns are villains. Like,
I thought all the Red Lanterns were villains. I just figured that because he's a cat, he makes his own rules.
Hey, why does Firestorm show up, do you think?
I don't know. He's not on the cover. I looked.
Or in, really the story. He's just also, Firestorm is here.
Right, no, it was totally just, Firestorm is here, and then he's gone.
They never explain why Lois is dressed as Talia.
No, they don't explain anything that happened in between Jimmy Olsen finding this cat and saying we need to go save Superman because his watch got the kryptonite alert.
Right.
And them being here saving him, which is interesting. That is a very interesting choice.
I agree. I'm sure the Supergirl fans were happy that those pages got used for that instead. But
right, but I want to know what happened between Jimmy Olsen picking up this cat and him finding out that this cat is a Red Lantern cat. It seems like and him getting that gorilla costume. It really seems like there were some adventures there.
That was a cool story.
Would have been real nice to read.
And at least remind us what the Lantern Cat's name is. I know I can Google Red Lantern Cat, but come on, stick it in there.
Yeah, that cat has a name too.
Oh,
I love this cat.
That cat's a character.
I'm just introduced to this cat. I love this cat because to the best of my knowledge, there are no other really superhero cats. There's plenty of dogs. Yes. Where are all the cats? People don't like cats? I love cats. Cats are hilarious, man. That's my 2 cents.
What would you give it?
I'd actually give it a 7. I thought it was pretty fun overall.
Yeah, I really wanted to find my usual complaints with this, but the art was good, and there was a lot more good story than mediocre story.
Right. And there's a lot going on.
There's one weird thing to me. It's that this big bad Leviathan guy. He seems kind of like a dweeb.
Oh, that's true.
He seems like, why would you do this? I'm gonna drop you out the floor, but why would you? Don't go after Superman. I don't know, something about him.
Almost a Cobra Commander.
They're trying to make him look like Darth Revan. And,
that's true.
And just everything that he's saying sounds like an office manager. I really am curious if it's going to turn out to be somebody we know or not.
Maybe just a regular guy.
It's Lex Luthor.
Right. Man.
But yeah, I'd give it a 7 too.
Awesome.
All right, that was it. Thanks for hanging with us, everybody. I know that was a long one, but yeah, we really appreciate it. We will be back in the very near future with even more reviews.
Well, thanks for coming. You stay classy, planet Earth.